Hey friends, it's Judy Klock, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Middletown, Virginia, and I am coming to you with a recorded video today. This was going to be my live last week, except I was just too sick to even come on and do anything. And in fact, today is kind of the first day that I'm feeling somewhat better. Still sound a little nasally, so bear with me. Sorry about that. I don't know what this was, but man, it just knocked me out. I lost a whole 3-day weekend from crafting, right? What a perfectly good waste of a 3-day weekend. I couldn't even come down to craft. Oh well, we're back at it. So today we're going to be working with the very fun, Racing by stamp set. This is just a fun, happy set for kids, guys, gals, whoever is into racing. So I've got 2 cards for you today. One is really just a very simple stamps, ink, and paper card. It's what they call a SIP card because it's just stamps, ink, and paper. And then we're going to just step it up just a little bit with a couple of, got some little rhinestones there for a little bling, and we kind of emboss this piece with that diamond plate 3D embossing folder. I think they call it metal plate 3D embossing folder. But it gives you kind of like that diamond plate look, that you see on like pickup truck toolboxes and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So our first card, we've got a base of smoky slate. It is 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it, at 4 1/4. I've got a piece of basic white for the inside. That's 4 by 5 1/4. I've got a piece of real red, blueberry bushel, and basic gray, and these are all 1 3/4 by 4. And then I've got 3 pieces of basic white that are all 1.5 by 3 3/4, and that's what we're going to use to stamp on today. So I've already got all my stamps on my block, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to do is on the inside, I just kind of stamped some fun little stamps in there just to kind of add a little bit of interest. So we've got our racing flag. I'm going to just kind of stamp that. I don't know which way is up, which way is down, but we're going to go this way. All right, we're just going to kind of stamp that in the bottom corner. Now, if you want, you could take your basic black marker and you could like draw a line from the top of the flag. Just go straight down to the bottom edge of the paper to kind of create that flagpole if you want. That's just an option that you can do. And then I'm going to stamp the blue ribbon, because first place is usually a blue ribbon, right? And so for this, I'm going to use our blueberry bushel. And I'm using, for this card, I'll be using blueberry bushel, a little bit of that memento black, real red, and our basic gray. And we're just going to stamp this up here. All right, let's put this aside for a moment. Okay, and let's get our 3 strips. Now on the middle strip, we're going to say racing by to say happy birthday. So let me take out my basic gray and let's get our stamping with our basic gray done for right now. So one strip is going to have our greeting, racing by to say happy birthday. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of stamp that, just kind of center in the middle of my paper. All right. Now in these other 2 strips, I'm going to stamp our race car body. I'm going to stamp it in both. Now I want to make sure to kind of put the wheels very close to the edge of my paper because I want to leave room for our little driver. So I'm trying to make sure. Okay, it's kind of hard to see. Okay, but that's pretty good. That's pretty close to the bottom edge of my paper. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to stamp another race car body. Again, keeping it close to the bottom edge of our paper. That looks pretty good. All right, not too bad. I did pretty good. I'm trying to keep that where I wanted it. Now we've got our little race car driver head. And we're going to come in here and we're going to stamp him right in the driver's seat. Okay, there's one. Let's get a second one. Okay, and we're just going to stamp him again right in our driver's seat. Okay, there we go. Now we've got two different kind of wheel covers, one that's like a star and one that's just kind of round. So we're going to stamp one of these. I got the star one first, and I'm just going to kind of stamp these over my wheels. All right, and then I'm going to come in with the round. And again, placement's a little hard to see with all of the stuff I got in the way, but make it work. All right, we've got that now. Now we've got two different race car bodies. We've got one with the flaming stripes and one with a star and like a checkerboard. So let's go ahead and do our star checkerboard in our blueberry bushel. So notice here I've got them on my big I block. I was going to say, please tell me that I have audio going. That would have been very bad, but I think I do. Okay, now we're going to stamp this right over everything. Kind of guessing. Okay, that looks pretty good. The placement. All right. Oh, a little bit off, but it'll work for us. And then we're going to come back in with the flames, and we're going to do that in our real red. Okay, so we're keeping everything really just kind of in the basic colors of the cardstock that we're using. That's what I love. One of the things I love about Stampin' Up! Is how everything absolutely matches. Okay, that looks pretty good. Again, I think it's a little off, but we're okay. All right, so now we've got our pieces all stamped. Let's go ahead and start putting our card together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my piece on the inside. And I was going to say, I just filled up a new Stampin' Seal Plus. Okay, let's go. It's always fun to get the very first one started. Okay, go ahead and we'll stick that on the inside of our card. Again, Smoky Slate is certainly light enough. You might not need a piece of basic white. I just like the way it really gives the card a finished look. Now I'm going to attach our sentiment to our basic gray piece here. Okay. Sticking to my fingers. All right, and then I'm going to attach my red card to my blueberry bushel and my blue card to my real red. Okay, so we're going to alternate the colors there. No real reason for doing that. I just kind of like the way that looked. Okay, so again, this is just a stamps, ink, and paper card. Very easy to do. You're just using that cardstock to kind of create those layers of color and add interest to your card. So I really kind of like this design. It's one of my favorites. And I'm just going to kind of pick this up just a little bit. This was a little bit crooked. Okay, I think I can get it straight maybe. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Okay, now we're ready to go ahead and put this on our card base, on the front of our card. All right, it doesn't really matter which way you do it. You can put the red down there, but the gray has to go in the middle. And these pieces are going to just butt right up against one another. And I'm just going to kind of lay them on here first to make sure. Okay, so I want to bring this red one down a little bit. That's what I wasn't sure of. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. I'll make sure they're straight, but that looks pretty good to me. So we're going to end up with our red layer on the bottom. Okay, kind of right there. Okay, we're going to come in with our basic gray layer. This has got our birthday greeting on there. So again, kind of a fun birthday card, good for, kids, good for race fans. But for somebody, if you're just starting out, you don't have a lot of supplies, you don't need all of the fancy doodads to make a pretty card. Just a couple of colors of cardstock, a couple of colors of ink, and there you go. You've got a nice, simple stamping card, but it's still colorful enough that it adds a lot of visual interest. All right, let's go on to our second card. Again, there's not really a lot of stamping on here. I do have to clean off some of our pieces. This one is going to be in landscape mode. So just have to remember that you're going to be working in landscape mode. Okay. Get rid of all this stuff to clean. Making sure I don't get any other colors right on my it's only trouble when you're using the same stamp set twice in a row. You got to make sure all the stamps are cleaned. And I use pretty much almost every stamp. I don't think we use the number one, the way to go, and you've got this. So let's go ahead. We're going to add some. We're going to add, let's add a way to go on the inside for our birthday person, whoever that may be. Again, we're just going to create a little bit of an inside. I'm going to, again, stamp this in Memento Black. We're going to keep this in the black and red. Okay, so that's what we've kind of started with. I want to make sure I get my stamp really well inked. Okay, way to go. And then we're going to give them a first place trophy because why not? It's the birthday person. They can have a first place trophy. All right. Way to go, because maybe they're number one in your heart. All right. Now, on this smaller piece right here, we're going to stamp our flag again. I just had it. There it is. Excuse me. We're going to stamp our flag. Okay, and I'm going to kind of stamp it in the kind of the upper left corner, right? Just kind of like that. I want to make sure I leave room for my sentiment. And then down on the larger piece, we're not quite done with that piece yet, but we're going to finish up with our black. We're going to stamp our car outline again in the black. Okay. And again, I'm going to kind of stick him down so his tail's to the bottom of the piece. Then we're going to stamp our wheels. And for this one, I'm using the round wheels. I'm not using the fancy star-studded wheels. I mean, you could use either one would work. It just depends upon what look you're going for. Okay. I'm going to kind of flip this around so I could hopefully see just a tad easier. Oh my goodness. I think I need to re-ink my black ink pad. All right. Got that now. Where's my little driver? Here's my driver. Okay. Again, we're going to stamp him in the, boy, oh boy. It's hard to get the ink coverage that I want on these stamps today. Okay, that looks pretty good. And again, we're going to stamp him in the driver's seat. Obviously, there's nowhere else to stamp the head. And then we're going to come back, excuse me, with our real red, which was over here. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment here. I'm going to stamp the racing by to say happy birthday. All right. And then again, I want to take my black Stampin' Right marker and I want to add my little flagpole to my racing flag. Again, this is optional. You don't have to do this. I just thought it just made the flag look nice. Okay, so there we go. And then here we're going to stamp the flame. I just like the flames. I don't know why, but I like the flames, so I'm going to stamp the flames again. Okay, now let's see if I can make this one line up just a wee tad better. That looks pretty good. Let's go. There we go. All right. All right. Not too bad. All right. So that is all of the stamping that we're going to do. We have one more thing that we're going to do. We're going to take this piece of basic gray and we are going to emboss it with that diamond, or the I keep wanting to call it a diamond plate because to me that's what it is, but I think the official name is metal plate. It's a metal plate, but I think it looks more like a diamond plate, but you know, it is what it is. What can I say? Okay. All right. So once we get that done, and I used my base 1 and my plate 4, plates 1 and plate 4 for the 3D embossing folders because they're pretty thick. All right, there we go. Now we're ready to assemble our card. So we're going to layer up these pieces on the corresponding piece of basic black. And I will have all of these measurements. I'm going to go write a blog post afterwards with all of these measurements. So you have them. But that's how we're going to assemble our card. So let's go ahead. Let's start off by adding our large basic white piece to the inside of our card. All right. So there we've got, I don't want to get anything caught. All right, let's go there. Let's layer up these pieces next. Now, I find that when I emboss cardstock, it makes it very difficult to use Stampin' Seal on. So I just usually use the liquid glue on my embossed pieces of cardstock. For some reason, the Stampin' Seal just seems to rip my embossed cardstock. So I've learned through the years to just go ahead and use that liquid glue, that multi-purpose liquid glue. It just makes life a little easier. Okay. So now we've got that. We'll just keep the glues out. We'll just continue with the glue for this. It's because it's right here on my glass mat. All right, we got that piece. So this black piece is 1.5 by 3 3/4. I'm sorry, by 3.5. And this white piece is 3 1/4 by 1 1/4. Again, I will have all of these on the blog post, so you don't have to worry about stopping the video and rewinding it and writing them down. They will be there, and there will be a link in the description to the blog post. So it should all be easy. Everything is hopefully easy to find. Now, this Friday, you want to make sure that you are on my email list. And again, there will be a link below in the video description later with a link to join my email list. You want to be sure that you're signed up by Friday because Stampalooza registration opens Saturday, June 1st. But if you're on my email list, you're going to have 24-hour advance to register. And once spots are gone, they are gone. So make sure that you sign up for the email. And as soon as registration opens, you want to go ahead and sign up because we've only got 35 spots. We anticipate that they're going to go pretty quickly and you don't want to miss out. So let's go. All right. So this piece of black was, let me tell you right now, it is 3.5 by 2 1/4, which means my white piece is 3 1/4 by 2. All right. And again, we're just going to put these on. I'm trying to make sure that the black pieces, the bottom edges match, and I've got a little bit of a gap between them because you want just a little bit of that red to show through. And then I'm going to add this piece here. And again, same thing. You want to make sure that the top edges of the black match, right? You want to make sure that the edges of my other two match. And then we've got a little bit of space in between. And that's a little crooked. Let's see if we can fix this. This is why sometimes it's good to have the liquid glue. I tell you, this piece was just my crooked piece today. Every time there seems to be one that's just a little bit crooked. Today it was my sentiment piece that was just going to be crooked. And those are the 2 cards that I had hoped to do last week, but was just too sick to do. A simple stamping card with just our stamps, inks, and paper. And then we stepped this one up with a little bit of that that embossing folder. Again, pardon me, I think I'm out of steam for the day. I'll be back tomorrow night, Thursday at 7:30 Eastern with another live demo with the Unbounded Beauty set. And that's the set I'll be featuring for my July class. So you want to come on and see, maybe get a couple of hints of what we're going to be working on it. That's it for me. Thank you all so much. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern. Bye.